Everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to display SwiftUI area mark chart in Expo React Native for iOS. So let's get started. Now let me clear out one confusion. Now the SwiftUI charts which I will be showing it to you, these are only for iOS. So SwiftUI is an iOS specific API, SwiftUI chart specifically. So there will be no demo, or we can't really integrate this with Android. So keep that in mind. So firstly what we will have to do is that we will have to copy this, but go to this particular template. So I'll just quickly open that, because there are different templates for creating Expo React Native projects. Here you can see that there are different templates. Now I will be using this blank TypeScript template because it gives lesser code, because if you use this default template there are a lot of code and lot of third-party libraries involved, which I don't really like. So here I will just go to my workspace directory and create this particular project. Okay guys, so as you can see I will just copy paste this particular command to create this blank TypeScript project for Expo React Native. I will just paste it inside my workspace directory. You can paste this command to wherever you feel like. I'll just give this app name as my app. You can again feel free to give whatever name you feel like. Now it will do npm install. This might take little bit of time. Now given that we want to integrate SwiftUI, we will have to write native code for iOS, and for this you can go to this particular documentation. If you see, by default the iOS folder is not created for us when we create an Expo React Native project, so we need to create that iOS folder. So for this I'll just open this particular documentation. Again, we don't really care about Android, this is iOS specific only. So I'll select iOS. Here I will select development build. Don't select Expo Go, because that is only for prototyping and it does not allow us to integrate native iOS code. Here I have disabled this EES checkbox because I don't want to use EES cloud service. I will do all the development on my local device. Now I have already installed Xcode command line tools as well as Watchman. If you haven't done that, make sure you do all that setup. Once that is done, we have to copy this particular command and run it inside our project. So here you can see my project is ready. I will just cd to my project, and then I will just copy paste this particular command. It will install the Expo dev client for us. Okay, once that is done, what I'll do is that I'll copy paste this command as well. So this will actually create the iOS folder for us. So as you can see, there is no iOS folder inside our project. Now here I have already installed this particular command. We'll have to copy that. Oh sorry, I'll just do Control-C. I'll just clear it out. I copied the wrong thing. We have to copy this particular thing, so I'll just copy this and I'll paste this inside our terminal. Now again, this will take little bit of time, so be patient. It will first ask me for my bundle identifier. I'll just keep it as it is, but if it is a professional project for you, don't keep it as it is. Typically it should be com.your company name.your app name, but given that this is just a demo, I'll just click on enter. Now it will create the iOS directory and it will do CocoaPod installation for us. Again, this will take little bit of time, so be patient. In the meantime, I want to show you other thing. So given that once this iOS folder is ready for us, so here you can see this is the iOS folder, we have to see how to create a native module. So for that I'll just copy this particular URL and I'll paste it over here. So here you can see this is the command for creating a native module. So once this CocoaPod installation setup is completed, it will also tell you, it will also ask you, do you want to run it on a simulator? So if you want, you can run it, but yeah, once we write the native code, you will again have to restart your Metro bundler from the very start, because we are changing native code. So even if you don't run this app, once the CocoaPod installation is done, even after that if you press Ctrl-C, that's fine. So as you can see over here, it is asking me to select my device and run my application, but there is no point in running the application now because we haven't written any code. So I will just do Ctrl-C. Don't really care. Next, like I told you, we have to create a native module, right? So for this I'll just copy paste this particular command. I'll paste it over here, and again it will ask me for some name. So I will just keep the name simple. Okay, let it do its thing. So I'll just name it as my module. You can change the name to whatever you feel like, and here I'll just press enter. Here also I'll press enter and let it do its thing. Okay, so this was pretty quick. Now given that this is a native module, we again have to do CocoaPod installation for this. So I'll just copy this as well and I'll paste it over here. So again, this will take little bit of time, so be patient. In the meantime, okay, want to tell you that I have created one sample project as well. Like, this is part of my practice before actually recording this tutorial, and I will be copying a lot of code from this documentation, but I will explain it to you as much as I can, so don't worry about it, because it's very difficult for me to remember each and everything. So here you can see this is my practice project first, so don't get confused by it. And here inside that we have this my module. Okay, similarly we have it inside our project as well, module my module, which we have just created, right, the native module. So from that, first we have to go to src, we have to go to my modules.types.ts. so I'll just open that. So here also inside our project I will open src my modules.types.ts, and here you can see this is actually the prop which our view will send from React Native side to iOS side. So if you want, you can keep it as name, but I don't really like this. We will be sending some JSON data from React Native side to iOS side. Now we will be stringifying that JSON. That's why, just for clarity sake, I'm naming it something like this, but you can name it whatever you feel like. At least for now, if you're doing this for the very first time, I would suggest you do what I'm trying to do. Just follow me. So here I have changed it. Okay, and then we also need to add this view props. The reason is that once we create our native view in React Native side, we want to apply the styling as well, right? So for that we require this view props. So I'll just paste it over here. Okay, and we need to import this view props. It is from React Native, so I will just do s. Okay, so this is done. The next thing which you have to do is you will have to go to your project. So this is my project, right? So my app, I'll go to iOS and I will double click on .exe workspace. It will open it in Xcode. The reason we want to open it in Xcode, because we need to create some Swift file, and for that Swift file while creation we need to define some target membership, which is not possible via VS Code. That's why we have to write some code from Xcode. Okay, so this is done. All right, now I will just go to my practice project again, because I will copy paste some code. Just go to modules, my modules, iOS. So this is the file, this and this. I'll just close this too. Now firstly I want to tell you what kind of data we will be sending from React Native, so that you will have a better idea. So first what I'll do is I'll also open the app.tsx. okay, so here this is from my practice project. I will open the app.tsx from our real project as well, so I'll just split it to the right side. Okay, so firstly we will have to import our module, right? So I will write that particular code. Import, it automatically gives me the IntelliSense. Okay, so I have imported our module. Now I will remove this text, I don't really need it. And here you can see this is our module view. This is all the data which I am sending. So typically whenever you are drawing a chart, you require the x-axis and the y-axis. The x-axis will be the user, y-axis will be the view count. You can change this to whatever you feel like. ID is required because while displaying data on a chart, we have to loop over it, right? So just like in React Native or React JS, we have the key prop whenever we are mapping over something, so that React understands, okay, each and every element is different, like an identifier. Similarly, SwiftUI charts also require this. That's why I'm sending this ID. Apart from that, the ID does not have any significance. Users is used on x-axis, view count is used on y-axis. Now you have to be careful, like whatever name you have given over on the TypeScript or JavaScript side, same you will have to use it on a Swift side as well. So make sure whatever you use, make sure you are consistent with that. So I will just copy this and here I have given it some style as well of width and height. Change it to whatever you feel like. So I'll just copy this. You can change the values to whatever you feel like. Now here it is giving me an error because I need to import this use Windows dimension. Okay, so just import that. Alright, so this is done as well. Now our project is open in Xcode as well. Now unfortunately SwiftUI charts are only available from iOS 16, so we have to go to our app, go to targets, select over here, go to general, and here you will have to update the minimum deployment to iOS 16 over here. Then go over here, and also here you have to change the minimum deployment to iOS 16. Next you will have to go to pods, go to development pods, and here you will have to search for your module. So here is my module, and I will first open this. So first let's see how I have done it. So first let me first create this struct. So if you remember, we were sending ID, users as well as view count from React Native side. So same thing needs to be mapped on Swift side as well. That's why I have created this struct, because we will be getting the data in string format. We have to convert that to a JSON of an array of view month, this particular struct. Okay, so that's why we have to create it. So just go over here, right click, new file, Swift file. Next give it the name view month, change it if you want to, and but here inside targets scroll down, and here make sure your whatever your module name, that is checked. So here you can see this is checked. That's why I wasn't doing via VS Code, so it is checked for me. So I'll just copy paste this code and I'll paste it over here. So basically we are just creating, just like we have interface in TypeScript, something like that, we have struct inside Swift. Okay, so this is done. Next okay, so here firstly I will show you this my module. Okay, so I'll come back over here. Now given that SwiftUI charts are only available from iOS 16, we have to add this particular annotation as well, so that our module is only accessible from iOS 16. So make sure you add this particular thing. Next we'll have to scroll down, and here is our native module, right, which is automatically registered when we create a native module. Here you can see it is taking a prop called name. We don't want that, so I'll just comment this out, and we want something chart data, because that's what we are sending it from React Native side. So I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. So this is our my module view file. I'll come back to this. It is giving me an error because it is not able to find this particular variable inside this my module view. We will create that variable, but here basically what I'm doing is that, suppose if I have some data inside my chart data variable, and next time you are sending some other data which is very similar to this, exactly same as that of the chart data which is present, in that case we don't want to re-render, right? Don't want to cause performance issue. That's why I've added this if check. Only if the data is not same, then only assign whatever prop you are sending. So this is your prop chart data, assign it to the chart data of our my module view, and then call this show chart method which has been defined inside our my module view as well. So I'll just do proper indentation, just so that it looks better. So hopefully you have copied till here. Then we have to go to my module view. So I'll open that particular file as well. So again here we have to annotate it with iOS 16. So I'll just copy that and paste over here, and we also have to import SwiftUI. Okay, then now I have followed the documentation a little, Expo documentation. So if you want, you can check that. So firstly we need to create a UI view, because we directly can't embed a Swift UI view inside this Expo view, because this Expo view is kind of like a UI kit view. That's why we have to create firstly a UI view, and inside that UI view we will be embedding our Swift UI view, which I will come back to in a bit. So here is our UI view. Okay, then here is our array of view month. So we will be converting the string data shortly, and this is our variable which we were calling it from my module, right? So I'll just copy this to code and paste it over here. Then we have to override this required init, which is kind of like a boilerplate code which you have to do, as well as layout subviews. So this is boilerplate code which you have to write, so I'll just paste it over here as well. Okay, next comes the important part. So if you remember, we were calling this show chart method from my module, right? So this is the show chart method. So I'll just copy it and I'll explain it to you guys, and I also change the indentation to be proper. So hopefully you have got this. So first, once we get the data inside this particular variable, right, we convert it to a data nh data, which is a Swift thing. Okay, once we, so here is our chart data. So from that we convert it to an array of view month. So that's what I'm doing over here. We are decoding that JSON. So if our array list of response already have something, we are removing it and then appending this new array of view month to list response. Now this is a SwiftUI file which we haven't created yet. I'll show you. We will create that shortly. But basically this is our SwiftUI file which takes this array of view months, and then given that we are embedding SwiftUI inside UIKit, we have to write a little bit of boilerplate code. We have to get hold of our UI hosting controller, pass that SwiftUI view, then from that we get this view called SwiftUI. Then I'm just doing translate auto resizing mask to false, because we want to make sure the SwiftUI view occupies the entire width and height of our parent UI view. So that's what it has been done over here as well. And again, this is boilerplate code, like you have to get hold of our controller, then add this VC to our controller, then add the SwiftUI view to our parent view, and then we have to move apply this did move, call this did move function as well. So this is again part of boilerplate code which we have to write. Now what we'll have to do is we have to create this Swift file. Okay, so I'll just create this Swift file, new file. Okay, next Swift file. Again, make sure this my module is checked. Okay, over here just click create. Now again I'll copy paste this code. So I'll copy paste the code and explain it to you guys. So I have copy pasted the code. So here I will just explain it to you. I have imported SwiftUI as well as charts, and here you can see we are taking an array of view month which we were sending it from my module view, and here is our vstack for chart. So vstack is basically used for aligning items one below the other vertically, but currently we only have one child chart, so doesn't really matter. And inside that we are using the for each loop. We are passing the view months, and this is our ID. And on the x-axis, as you can see, I'm using the area mark chart. So on x-axis I'm using users, and on y-axis I'm using views. And here you can change the foreground style, corner radius to whatever you feel like. And if for chart plot style, again you can change the background color to whatever you feel like. Now coming back to the frame, here you can see I have set the max height to 150, but typically what I would recommend is whatever height you have set inside app.tsx, make sure you use the same height over here as well. You can send the height as a prop as well, but just for simplicity's sake I haven't sent that. So yeah, so that's it for the code. Now I'll quickly run and show you guys the output. Okay guys, so as you can see, here is the output, and if you want you can just play around with this value. So I'll just quickly show you this, and if you want you can just change this to 20. Okay, I don't, so here you can see it has changed. I will change this to 10. Here you can see now this looks a little weird because the values themselves are little weird. So again, make sure you add some proper values, and then you can see a proper output. So I'll just keep this as it is. Thank you for watching. Bye.